Hey guys, it's Maria Park, and I got my spouse with me this time, River Park, because River watched Charm with me tonight and is going to talk about it, right, baby?
Well, I saw some of it.
I think it's interesting that in this episode tonight, we're an LGBT couple, and yes, there was queer representation, but what made you feel represented, baby?
Chime.
The damn chime card.
Yes, we use it. Proud users of the little baby chime card.
Oh,
finally got its moment in the spotlight. Prime TV.
There you go, guys. A Charm review tonight. Chime sponsored this entire damn episode. And we're not sponsored, but we own the card. So la la la.
Proud users and owners of that card.
So I'm rocking my Sailor Neptune hair again because I actually am doing an unboxing video with my spousey when we're done with the stream. So kill two birds with one stone. We both have Waters of Truth tonight because we're gonna be dropping some truth tonight on this episode because I'm going to put it out there. All those people out there, not saying you're in this chat, but all those Abby haters out there that just think she's trash. Her mama put her in a mother effing crate, like a museum crate, not even a dog crate. No windows, no air, a effing crate. And you wonder why Abby screwed up.
That'd be messed up too.
Oh, this episode. So let's just go into I took a lot of notes because there's a lot of crap that was going on in the universe of Charm tonight. So we're gonna start from the beginning. Because why the hell not? So Abby and Jordan, are in the Tomb of Chaos. Nobody else knows yet that they are in the Tomb of Chaos because I called that. I told you that this episode was going to be Harry and Macy centric once again, because that is what's been happening. So even though we have, Abby and Jordan living their best bad lives in the Tomb of Chaos, and poor Jordan didn't even know what the hell's going on. We didn't see Jordan at all in this episode, and we did see a little bit of Abby. And again, what we saw about Abby is messed up. I'm going to save that to the end. So Macy's done like all of these experiments. She's on experiment 267 and it fails. She gets upset. So she telekinetically blows all these books off the shelf. And then there's like a lockbox that falls off. And inside of it, there are letters from their mother, Marisol. One of them says, "To my girls, for when it's too painful to be near each other." So of course, when Macy talks to, Maggie and Mel about it, they instantly think, oh, because their mother was clairvoyant, then, oh crap, maybe that means she saw this coming, which is not the case. That's not what happened. So let me talk about something that I thought was interesting. Now they're supposed to be sisters, right? These two, Macy and Mel, because Macy and Maggie, because Mel decided to go off with her ride or die Harry. Because let's be clear with this. It seems like whenever Harry has to go to London for something, he brings Mel. So it's pretty interesting to me. Macy kind of hesitated. He brought, Mel to London to go, and we'll get into why they were there, but to go on their ride or die mission. But for some reason, Macy and Maggie were just okay summoning their mother from the beyond without their other sister there, not thinking, hey, maybe our sister Mel would also like to talk to our dead mama. They were just like completely okay with just summoning her without her. I was like, wow, that's effed up. I'm just putting that out there. If I was Mel, I would have been PO'd about that. So I'm not allowed to talk to dead mama. That's kind of messed up.
But it's a good thing she read ahead in the script.
Good thing she had script and main character insurance. So anyway, so they decide to summon Mama, and they get this red candle and they do this incantation. And basically the last owner of the precious item or the cherished item, which is the lockbox, that's who they were basically summoning. And then I knew something was going to happen because you saw two little orb lights. And see, whenever you see this in OG Charm, you already know something's messed up. It shouldn't be two little lights. So I'm like, uh-oh, they're doing some stuff. And sure enough, Maggie gets possessed by these two ghosts who were the original owners of this lockbox. It's a man named Roger and his daughter, Daisy. And Daisy is a trip. Daisy cracked me up because she is 17. She's rebellious. We learned, sadly, that she died on prom night. She snuck out to go to prom with the love of her life, and her dad found out. And he's like a grieving widow, so he was trying to protect his daughter. He was really overprotective. He went and dragged her out before she had a chance to have her very first dance, and they ended up dying in a drunk driver. A drunk driver basically hit them on the way home when they were arguing in the car, which is so reminiscent Paige's family getting into that car crash when they were arguing about her not wanting to go anywhere with them, always having to leave and go out with her family. So there's just elements of Charmed OG that always find a way to sneak in to this version of Charmed, even though they're trying to be different, because that brought back the whole Paige parents' car crash, her being in the backseat and being the only survivor, but like that whole, car crash situation. So that, was interesting. And then also the whole situation with mom, like they're finally getting to bring their mother back. Because if you remember OG Charm, it seemed like the Penny and grandma could just like literally, come back whenever they wanted. It's like, I want to talk to grandma today. Okay, cool. I'm going to talk to mom today. Okay, cool. Just go in the attic and like summon them with a candle. That's literally how OG Charm worked. It doesn't matter who dies. Eventually you will be able to bring them back. And in the comics, it did the same thing with Prue. If you've read the OG Charm extended comic book series. So we finally got that, but instead of seeing the actress for Marisol, which maybe because of COVID, we couldn't get her, she possessed basically Maggie's body. So we did get to see Marisol in the end, but even then she was like, they were like, Macy, was like, oh, you had a premonition about the allergy. And she's like, no, basically, I just know how sisters are. I know you're going to fight and I get along. So I wrote these letters. I'm like, and I thought that was interesting. And she's like, well, you just want to talk about Harry, basically. And they talk about Harry and how Macy she figured it out by herself, because the characters of Roger and Daisy were only in this episode to show Macy that it's okay if Harry loses his immortality. That's literally what they were. They were placement holders for this plot. Now, I'm going to say I enjoyed this episode. I'm going to nitpick a little bit, but I don't want you to think I didn't enjoy it. I just have to nitpick because there's just a lot. There's just a lot. But that's what Roger and Daisy were essentially there to accomplish. They were there to accomplish the whole Macy seeing the light about Harry becoming mortal. And also for another thing that happened in this episode, and that is Maggie and Antonio. Antonio finally asked Maggie out. She has a premonition of him like rubbing, putting his fingers through her hair and blah, blah, just really horny sexual stuff. And she freaks out and runs away. He shows up at the house later because they have been working at a project at Safe Space, and she left her wallet. Now, I don't know why Antonio thought it was okay to walk dead in these women's houses. Like, you don't just open the door to somebody's house that you don't know, especially since he knows she lives with her sisters. But this man opened the door and walked in. I'm like, what? Nobody does that. I'm sorry. Nobody just walks in your house. Not here, because you'll get shot. But I don't get that at all.
Hey, but if you walk in and give me a wallet,
No, not even the chime card. So I think that situation was weird, but it did set up for him meeting a possessed Maggie as Daisy. And like that whole situation was messed up. But Daisy had this, like, for some reason, ghost banshee scream. And so she was essentially a banshee. And she attacked Antonio and knocked him out. She did the same thing with Macy when she first, took over Maggie's body. But poor Antonio, the whole episode, like they woke him up, and, basically try to convince him that he had tripped on a floorboard, then he had a concussion. And I'm like, okay. And Macy, basically to free Maggie's body, they had to release these the ghosts before this red burning candle they used in the seance burned out. I don't know where the hell Josefina is right now. I'm just throwing that out there too, because she's not there at all in this episode. People just drop them like flies. Josefina's not there. We don't have Jordan at all. I don't know. But so, and I'm only saying that because she wasn't in the attic. And that's normally where we see Josefina. So I thought it was interesting that, to release them. The reason Roger, the father, hadn't been released is because of all the unresolved stuff with his daughter, because her daughter felt like he micromanaged her her ability to form relationships and attachments because he was grieving over his wife dying. And that, I mean, I get that. As somebody who has lost a parent, I understand. I've lost a spouse. I understand. It is hard when you grieve. So you do things and you become like very overbearing and overprotective. Or like me, you just close off for a very long time. So I get why he was doing it, but it was not right. So I think that the whole purpose of him being the other ghost was because the daughter wasn't letting him go. And when they finally worked out, the grievances, and he apologized and said, if I could do it over again, I would have let you have that first dance, which I thought he would have said something along the lines of, if I could have done it over again, I would have let you stay at the prom and then maybe we'd both still be alive. But whatever, but she was able to release him. And then Macy convinced Antonio to dance with Maggie. And guys, don't come at me for this, okay? Please don't. That dress Maggie walked down those stairs in was the ugliest effing dress I've ever seen. It was ugly. I'm sorry. I did not like that dress. If you liked it, we just have different tastes. That dress was ugly as hell. But you know what? It is what it is. But Maggie came downstairs. She had on like the whole late 80s, early 90s kind of hair and like this ugly freaking reverse Pretty in Pink What the Hell dress. And she danced with, Antonio and got to have that first dance, but it was actually Daisy dancing with him. And then he saw Daisy's ghost or spirit. You saw what she looked like come out and stand next to Maggie. And Antonio was like, oh, Freud isn't going to be able to explain this shit. And then, of course, Maggie uses her emotion push juju power to make him go back to sleep. So the resolution, though, of this is that Antonio asked her out again. So he asked her out 3 times in this episode and then said, I didn't want to make it weird. And she's like, you know what? The relationship that I kind of didn't know I was in or not is the guy I actually want. So she's finally admitting that she wants Jordan, but Jordan ain't there because Jordan is in the Tomb of Chaos. Because for some effing reason in the last episode, when her cell phone was doing weird crap, when she was trying to call Jordan, she didn't think anything of that. She didn't think it was weird that she hadn't heard from him for days. Because for some reason, sometimes, and I say this in my Arrowverse stream a lot, so I apologize, but sometimes the slowness of Barry Allen leaks into other shows because he really is the slowest thinking man in the CW. But I feel like when he runs around and creates all these time, loops and these, new versions of the Flashpoint, that he actually affects other other episodes that are not in the Arrowverse, and Charmed is just a victim. That's really what I think is happening right there. Because that was slow. I mean, slow. She could have touched that phone and forced a premonition or whatever. Why am I seeing this weird stuff on the guy that I like that I'm finally admitting that I'm into? Let me see where he is. Where's Jordan? Just something on that level. Not like, this is weird as hell. Well, good night. I'm sorry. I got to nitpick, guys. I got to do it. Okay, so my next nitpick. So I told you that Harry and Mel were going to London for a mission. So basically, he goes to who I'm calling Mr. Shady, the male perfecti, and gets these things called soul softeners. And when he said soul softeners, I was like, it's stool softeners for your soul.
Where does it come out?
I don't know. Why are they pink? What manufacturer was that? I love how it had side effects like an actual commercial. This may cause rectal bleeding. But anyway, so they have these, soul softeners. Now, I think you're only supposed to use one, and then you take a needle and you take blood, and it's a big process. But my problem with that is that not even 6 minutes into the trip to London, where Harry's going to find his son Carter because they need a descendant, right? Well, his son's dead. So 6 minutes in, he's already lost the damn pills because he's responsible. But to that in a minute. So we're going to talk a lot about this, but first I have to call on something that happened once again in season 2, where Harry is basically said through Abby jujuing his brain that he cheated on his wife and had a whole other ass family. So he made it seem like to Mel, well, my son's dead. I've got no more hope. I'm like, MF, what about your other damn family? I'm just throwing that out. This seemed like the perfect opportune time to explore the fact that Jimmy effed around on his first wife. And the reason I'm putting that out there is because we found out that his son Carter effed around on his wife and made a little boy named Georgie. So the apple don't fall far from the cheating ass tree. And they made it so this was not his son. This was his nephew, Georgie. And Carter was Uncle Carter. I'm like, oh, your family. Your family. Woo! So I'm confused, writers. CW, if you are watching this or if somebody puts it on Twitter, whatever, explain yourself because you effed it up. That is the literal definition of plot effing hole. Because you wrote that shit, you revealed it in season 2, and you act like it didn't happen. I'm just saying. And then had the nerve to make the son the exact same way as the father. But, whatever. So we're going to ignore the fact that his whole other family apparently no longer exists because Harry is not mentioning them at all. So, all right. So little boy Georgie, he takes the soul softeners. And you're technically not supposed to take all of those. I think they only had like one pill that they found on the floor, and it started causing issues. So basically, when you take the soul softeners, it makes you basically ravenous for what you want, and then you want retribution. And so in the episode, when we first saw him before he did that, he was like trying to eat everything. We thought he just really wanted to eat all the junk food. And we meet Jill, who is technically Harry's granddaughter, who is a lesbian. So we got some more representation, but do we care about that? No, baby. Even though we're queer as hell in an LGBT marriage, chime card. Like, so bad. But anyway, so Jill is not there for Harry. Jill is there for Mel. Jill is there because Jill is married to a woman and they were in a long distance relationship. And she said it will either make or break you. And earlier in the episode, which is not really important to the plot whatsoever, Ruby literally dropped a love bomb on Mel because she was disappointed that they couldn't touch each other. She went and got some new lingerie, which first of all, why do you need lingerie? Why? It's a waste of time. Just strip it and go. I mean, they don't understand how we do this. Anyway, but I'm just saying, she's like, I got to take this lingerie back to the store. And Ruby just seemed really like depressed and sad that she could no longer get it on with Mel. And then she just literally drops the love bomb. And Mel's like, she said the L word, commitment. Okay, hold up. Took a pause. This is why we were introduced to Jill in the first place. So Harry's granddaughter is a lesbian and is married to a woman. And that is literally the same exact plot device that we had with basically Daisy and Roger. They were there for the sisters to realize their shit. That's all there is. That's all I'm going to say about that. But that is what that is. So Mel got to see a successful marriage, even with, adversity, and bam. So there we go. So just throwing it out there. Now, Georgie is already possessed. His eyes are red. He's looking like a whole Chucky from Child's Play. He was sitting there with like a meat cleaver and a knife. He wasn't playing. He was getting ready. And I'm like, so Mel uses the family heirloom, which are the ropes, and binds him. And they're like trying to figure out how to break, this, whatever. I can't call it a demonic possession, but it's like whatever happens when you take too many soul, softeners, which is why I'm telling you, do not get pills from the Perfecti when you don't know what the hell they do. Stop doing it. That is a lesson, people. Don't take anything from people. Don't give pills to people, and keep your pills safe from children. Because how the hell Harry lost some of those damn pills? I still don't know. Did he have a hole in his pocket? Did he walk in and say, my son's dead? Bloop. And he thought he was dropping the mic, but he was dropping the pills. I don't know what he was doing. Did Georgie pickpocket and just drop one of the pills on the ground? No idea. If I missed something on that, please let me know. I don't know how those pills got out of his damn pocket. And then why did you just have loose pills anyway? Why did you have them in a damn bottle? I'm like, you put potions in a bottle and you couldn't put 5 pills or 6 pills in a damn bottle. What is happening?
And seal it with magic or something.
Seal it with magic. Just close the damn lid. I'm like, childproof. I can't even open some vitamins. It's fine. All right. So I had issues with that. But finally, they realized the boy didn't want cookies and cakes and all the stuff that they really thought for some reason. I don't know if maybe they thought we were in the Chronicles of Narnia and he was with the white witch asking for Turkish delight. I don't know what the hell Harry thought was going on, but the boy just wanted a family. He wanted love. He wanted people to understand that he was grieving. And I'm like, wow. And none of them thought of that at the funeral. I'm like, it's really weird. So once Harry realized that, literally Georgie just started looking around. He still had those freaky ass red eyes, but he was looking around. And then he Harry looked at Mel and she basically took the rope off of him before he turned normal, by the way, not after, before. And then by the grace of God, he did turn normal. Because I thought this would have been interesting if he were just ripped out his heart.
Horror movie.
But so then he comes back and he's like, my Uncle Carter's dead. And then he literally calls Harry Uncle Harry. And I'm like, that's going to be an interesting conversation. By the way, when everyone said, especially with Jill, when she was telling Harry that he is the spitting image of Carter, her father, Harry's weak ass explanation was that he was a cousin 3 times removed by marriage. I need to go back and look at genetics because I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. But I digress. But yeah, so Georgie now has an Uncle Harry that he will probably never see again because Harry has really no reason to go back. And again, we don't know about Harry's other family, so we have no reason to go back about that either. But it has basically, this whole trip to London did a very cool thing. It made Mel realize that she loved Ruby. And it made Harry realize that he wanted to spend all of his time getting Macy pregnant. That's what he was saying. That is literally what he was saying. I want Christmases, graduations. What do you mean graduations? What the heck you mean by graduations, Harry? You know what he means? He wants some more babies. And he's good at it because he's fathered like lots of kids. You just don't know it. But because Macy does not know about the other family because she was not in that vision quest with him and Abby because they were trying to find her because she was kidnapped. So she was with Jimmy. Just saying. I'm just saying, look, I put those hard truths and facts out there and you just gotta think about it and then get like, what the hell, like me. So we know what's going on with that. Now, it was really cute, the little Mel and Ruby love confession. It's just hard for me because Ruby is literally hardly ever in this damn series. I don't ever see them together. I mean, they have this deep emotional bond, but like literally they were one night stands. Then we had this whole conversation in season 2 where Ruby's like, I don't want to be a witch. It's not my life. I have no desire to be involved in witchcraft. That's why I'm in witchness, protection, blah, blah, blah. They never resolved this problem, but now they're in this really deep, loving, committed relationship where they can't touch. Do you see where I'm going with this? That is not how relationships work. So that is why I have a lot of problems with the Mel and Ruby thing. Yes, I am an Abigail and I am a Mel eventually, potentially getting together when Mel isn't being a bitch. But this whole thing with Ruby just is so forced for me. And I love the actress that plays Ruby. I think she's gorgeous. I think she has the prettiest voice. She's just, it's not the character. It is this whole relationship with Mel that doesn't exist at all. Like she's hardly ever with this woman and suddenly they're in love with each other. It's really weird.
It's like, so COVID's, had a lot of relationships start, but usually they don't stay, in COVID, I would imagine they didn't stay like separated forever, like go on a date and then stay in there, stay safe at home, for months and months and months and months, and then come back together, have a really intense conversation, and then go months and months and months apart again. And then come back together and be like, I love you so much. I love you too. Oh, let's be in a committed.
I fell in love with you on Zoom.
And it's
zoom,
like,
zoom, zoom, love. I don't get it.
how do you do that?
I don't get
How
it.
do you fall in love when you're like not there?
I haven't figured it out
Or
yet.
talking. Like she's not even talking to Ruby.
It's
from
like
what we can
season
tell.
2 never even happened. That's what's so weird to me. It's like it didn't happen. So many things in season 2 were just not in season 3, and it doesn't make any sense. So, but whatever. We'll
Probably
get to
wishful thinking. The writers are like, maybe we just wish that we never wrote that in.
Yeah, we'll get to Abby in a second because I have a lot to say about that. But Swan was in this episode, so we didn't get Jordan. Josefina's gone, but we got Swan. I don't know where the hell Swan's been, but we got Swan. And I guess Swan is running stuff, and she should be because Macy is not even bothering. She's in the attic. So, it is what it is. But Swan, I love how Swan is not even involved in these people's lives. And Maggie's like, have you seen Jordan? No, but what's she with that hot girl, Amanda, blah, blah, blah. And then, Maggie's like, Abigail? And she's like, I don't know, bitch. I just said her name started with an A. I'm like, it's literally what I'm saying to you. I'm like, and then what happens? Maggie goes charging off and it just walks right into, Abby's apartment, which isn't she still technically the overlord? So how did these demons let this witch just walk right into the overlord's apartment? I'm just asking these questions, okay? But I digress. It is. That means Abby's apartment has the worst effing security on the planet. But, Maggie just walks in and then she looks at the symbols on the ground. She's like, oh my God, they're in the Tomb of Chaos. And I'm like, and you would not have known this shit had you not talked to Swan. How effed up is that? Just saying. Okay, so let's get to Abby. Abby. So we met Mama, and Mama is a straight up biatch. She's a bitch. You talk about somebody who deserves to be in the Tomb of Chaos. It is Abigail's mother. So the little girl version of Abby was abused. Like, she's like, well, I didn't let you touch your baby sister, who, by the way, is named Waverly. I instantly got Winona Earp vibes. I'm like, Waverly's your sister too? Damn. But so she was like, well, because you're going to touch her with your evil little fire hands. And you know what happened when you tried it? You almost burned your sister alive. And I'm like, she's like, I was a child. I didn't understand my powers. And so her mother at 16 threw her out on the street.
That made me almost cry.
I was like, really? So now when you go back to where Mel says, and I quote that, there basically is nothing redeemable about you. She basically called Abby a waste of space. And Abby took that in, and coming from a place where she's doing self-harm and already hates the demon side of her, and explains why the demon's trying to kill Abby because her mother tried to kill Abby. Essentially, that is what happened. Her mother was putting her into a damn crate with no oxygen, no slits, nothing. It was a box. It was probably the same damn box that the dagger was in the Kung Fu episode I just reviewed. I mean, it is
props.
Messed up.
There are those props.
He probably was. It probably was a prop. CW's like, hey, Kung Fu. I'm going to use that box. But no, that is what she was saying. And like, this was not a one-time occurrence, because the way Abby reacted was like, oh, no, mommy, not the box. No, mommy, not the box. And she's like, get in the damn box. And Abby just walks into the box. That is somebody who is submissive to their parent who is abusive. And when she got out of the crate, she drank the damn scotch to basically, because the scotch makes you forget. And so she could just live happily and not be abused. And now we got some insight into how effed up her childhood was. So that was her mother. And then her real father, Alistair, tried to kill her because she was half witch. So her mother hated her because she was half demon, and her father hated her because she was half witch. And so how do you expect anybody to be a good roundabout person if you come from crap like that? That is trauma. That is trauma. And to add insult to injury, I watched the preview for the next episode where Maggie says Jordan is also stuck in there with Abby, and we need to come up with a reason for Abigail not to be in the Tomb of Chaos. And Macy said, well, that's a problem because I think she does. And I'm like, all right, bitch. Well, when you took on the Source's power back in season 1 and was doing all that shady shit, then maybe you should be in the cell next to her. Peace out. That's how I feel about that. And people are probably gonna come after me for saying that, but I'm sorry, Macy, your shit is not clean. So I'm gonna need you to understand that what trauma does, because you took on the source willingly. You did that willingly. And all the consequences from that is on you. So don't be throwing stones. I hate when Harry and Macy, I love Hasey, but I hate when they throw stones because, Harry is a big fat cheater. And Macy not only had demon blood, willingly became the source and was doing all kinds of shady shit. So I'm just saying, don't be a hypocrite. Yep, they are entitled as hell, and it bothers the hell out of me. It really does. You like the review? Was this a good review, guys? I mean, I did call some shit out. But outside the ugly dress, I like the rest of the outfits. The outfits were cool in this episode. I like we got Swan back. I like anytime we see Abby on screen. So I mean, I don't understand where people go in Charmed. It's like they disappear. It's like there's a hole in Charmed, like a little interdimensional pocket in time and space. And like they just kind of slip through it. And then they're just gone. And nobody knows where they are and nobody cares.
It's like Black Lightning.
Oh, yes, it is like Black Lightning. It's like Black Lightning in Crisis. It's like, where's Black Lightning? Well, hell, I don't know. It's like, I've been in every damn scene. But no, it's really, it is absolutely insane how people just vanish in the Charm universe. Like, and nobody gives a shit. Like, it's so like, Jordan's been gone. Josefina's gone. I mean, let's not even talk about Kevin. Kevin was literally, I'm going to say it, and I can say this with confidence because, spouse is trans male. The trans male representation is no longer there. He said some words. He high-fived Mel, and when you give Mel props, I guess you don't have anything else to do in the show. So it's like, thanks for being here. Thanks for starting my activist journey. Roll out. And that's literally, we have not seen Kevin at all. He is gone. He is effing gone. I mean, how cool it would have been for Josefina to meet Kevin on campus to convince her to go to college, saying, hey, if you're worried about the fact that people might judge you or figure out that you're trans female, I'm going to introduce you to somebody who's on campus that is trans male. Hey, that's my boy Kevin over there. Come here. Come meet my cousin. Also transgender. No, they can't do that because Kevin is gone. Kevin jumped in some kind of TARDIS with some kind of doctor and Kevin didn't come back. So yeah, that's a thing. All right, so let me jump up here. So I really need to see your comments. I'm also going to say that the acting was pretty good. I will say I really did like the fact that Maggie did seem like a 17-year-old little brat. And like, I really wanted to smack the hell out of her. So she did her job. So I am very happy with how Sarah Jaffrey portrayed Daisy. And I want to know if they played up her voice, because I'm a voice actor, but I know that you can also modulate and filter the voice. I wonder if she was really doing Roger's voice or if they modulated it. But even still, I did like the facial expressions when she was the dad versus when she was Daisy. So I'll give her props to that. So I'm happy about that. So yeah, all right, let's start up here. Hi, I have to wait until tomorrow to see the show. Might as well watch the review. Diversity, I'm sorry. You have no idea how many times I hear people say that. I'm sorry. I'm just trying to keep on a schedule. And it's a mess. It is a mess. River had to make mussels for dinner that has a lot of iron, so I have enough energy to do this. Because anemia is bad. So that's probably why I seem a little high right now. I just had a bunch of mussels. Like if you were like seafood, you'll know what I'm talking about. Hello. So we got a lot of people in here. It's cool. Thank you I would like to take credit for my cute hair, but I bought it on Amazon. But thank you. Appreciate you.
Like our nurse.
An Indiana Jones top men crate. That's what it was. It was an Indiana Jones top men. That is so effed up. I can't remember a unit. I can't fathom a mother, and I'm a mother. We have a daughter, putting her in a crate, even when you want to, because trust me, there are days when you want to put her in a crate, but that's abuse. We don't even put our dog in a crate. He has a kennel. He puts himself in there. We don't have to do it. I feel too bad. He locks himself in his own prison. So I don't understand it. The only reason no one noticed that Abby and Jordan is not there is because of plot and lack thereof. You're absolutely right. You are right. Only Macy got to talk to their mother. That's messed up. I know. Well, technically, Maggie got to see the tail end, which I don't understand, because if the mother could have done that the whole damn time, then why did she even get into Maggie's body? That's another thing I didn't think about. If Maggie, like, because Maggie was like standing there and Macy was here, and then you saw Marisol like the little spirit. Why didn't she just appear as a little spirit? Or was that too close to OG Charmed? Maybe they were trying to really separate that. I don't know. For us to talk to mom, one of us has to be, possessed, which does not make sense. Common themes in the episode: children and their complicated relationships with their parents. Amen. It's reminiscent of OG Charmed minus all the Karen stuff. I mean, sometimes the charm ones are the Karens. That's what's so messed up about it. They're not supposed to be the Karens. CW logic, walk into strangers' houses. I don't understand that.
And
that is
door unlocked. Like, what?
I mean, I don't know how safe Seattle is. I've never lived in Seattle. I know it's very effing expensive, which again, I don't know how they get away with moving their house there without paying property taxes, but that's a whole other conversation. But you don't just go in there and open the door and be like, hey, Maggie, I got your wallet, girl. Like, that is not how that works. You're not doing that in Memphis, Tennessee, because you're not going to come back out. I'm just letting you know that that won't fly here. Hello, lady. How are you? I'm also noticing that the exploration of parent-child relationship is a running theme in Kung Fu. It is. Apparently, I think all the time that we spent at home with our families has made people crazy. So they have to do themes and different shows on family dynamics because it's like, I don't know how many times at my job, I don't know if this happened at yours, where people literally say they go to work to get away from their family, even though they're all in the house together. That is interesting and kind of messed up. Josefina did say last episode about going back to school at home. I wasn't sure, though, if that was really a thing. So you mean to tell me that Josefina was only there to get her powers and then she was up and out too? So then can we really say that there was a lot of trans representation in this show?
About as much as that other, was it L Word with the wonderful representation?
Oh, how L Word Generation Q has a trans character that gets like hardly any screen time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, don't get me started on that. The cousin said she was going back home to school. But see, Justin, I don't like that. I feel like there's a lot more stories they could have done with Josefina. So you mean to tell me Josefina's gone and Kevin's off on the TARDIS somewhere. So we have no transgender representation anymore. Nice. CW logic, if character is not needed for the plot, they do not exist. That is absolutely effing true. Josefina went back to Puerto Rico. So let me talk about why I think this is messed up that Josefina went back to Puerto Rico. The family kicked her out of the damn house for trying to get magic. Why are you going back there? Girl, go live your life. Don't make any damn sense. Hey, Abby's got a whole damn loft. Go be roommates. She needs a friend. I don't understand this. Oh my God. Recycling plots across CW and props. I'm just getting into Charm recently. Is it that bad? So okay. How do I say this? Charmed is not the problem. It's some of the writing that's the problem. But to be fair, the previous Charm, the OG Charm, has not aged well for our time. Representation was not something that was major in that series. So pick your poison. It's not a bad show. You just got to watch the writing. There are some episodes of Charm that are actually pretty good, but my problem is they retcon themselves. So it's like they literally say all this really big revealing stuff, and then they have another season that's like, we didn't mean any of that. I'm like, surprise. Josefina did say that. So she did say that she was like, you know what? Fine, Josefina, go home. The cheating family, it's a rite of passage from father to son. Well, I mean, obviously, see, this is where I'm just going to say it, okay? It makes sense because it's also a rite of passage with the charm ones because Mama cheated, Maggie cheated, Mel technically cheated, and Macy also technically cheated, even though she was not officially with Harry. They were talking, and then they had a fight. And then he went to Abby's place, which we know he does. We know that he's going to do it. And then she went and slept with our boy, Julian. So, I mean, you know what? Cheating is one of the overall themes of this series. So if Abigail is able to touch Mel when the allergy's gone and they just start making out and Ruby's like heartbroken, it's going to be fine because it's just it's one of the family genes. It's being unfaithful. It's just what it is. Maria's on, I'm on fire. Thank you. Just strip it and go. Maria quote from 2021. I mean, why waste time? What? Do you want me to go buy lingerie? What's the damn point? What is the point? Why am I going to spend $60 on something that's going to be on for like 3 seconds? That doesn't make any sense. Nah. Mm-mm. No. Not another demonic kid. I mean, because they need to. I would not be surprised if, well, I already know it's going to happen in another show. There's another series where there's going to be like ravenous kids or ravenous people. And I cannot remember which show it is. It's one of the ones I review. I want to say it could be Supergirl, but there's going to be an episode where I don't think it's Supergirl. There's going to be an episode where there's going to be a ravenous problem. So
there was a Legends episode.
It might be, well, Legends already did theirs. They did theirs with the alien sauce. We're not talking about that thing. I'm going to start like literally gagging. Yeah, nasty. It's dropping the mic for me. Hi, Nicholas. Let me see. This live is LOL. We're happy that we can amuse you because this is how we talk to each other. So we're just bringing me and River and me and my daughter literally talk like this in real life. So we just want to share how absolutely insane we are with the rest of the world while making valid points. I'm going into the medical profession and my human anatomy and physiology and microbiology professor can testify that Harry's excuse is complete BS because that's not how genetics work. Well, Nicholas, we could have told you that without having to have anatomy, physiology, and microbiology because it's in a CW script. I'm like, I watched Nancy Drew last night because they hadn't, Swift in it. I wanted to see how Swift was going to be. And even though he's brilliant and I'm down for a black, suave, gay lead character, some of the science shit he was saying don't make no sense. But you know what? CW science. That is all that matters. First it was her mom and sister, then her dad, and now it's Mel. Poor Abby can't catch a break, not even going to mention Godric. Hashtag justice for Abby. What was so messed up is in the last episode, remember when she was talking and she was like, she woke up and she's like, Jordan, she's like, they always sneak out while you're asleep, don't they? Or something like that. I'm like, damn, girl. I feel so bad for her. I really do. You were on fire, Maria. Loved it. Like to see you too, River. Hi, River. High five. On fire. We also have our water of truth. I'm trying not to drink too much water in case Ray is here because I don't want, him and his boyfriend to be intoxicated right now.
I'm sorry if you are, but I
never mind.
Was really thirsty.
Never mind. Never mind.
I'm almost done.
Interesting that the name of next week's episode is called Chaos Theory. I mean, interesting and pretty practical because I think they basically gave us insight to the script. Like Chaos Theory. Sarah really showed her acting skills in this act. She really did. She really, really did. Kevin got eaten by Malvor. It's sad. That might be true. Jordan is basically Charm's version of Emerald. Abby is basically a better version of Cinder. And now we see Charm ones are horrible people and need to be put in their place. They need somebody to take them and put them over the knee and tan that little ass. That's what they need. Especially Macy. Because, Macy's dad, Dexter, he seemed to be one of those parents who was like, little girl, you talking shit. And because he did that to her, she talks shit to everybody else. Because she's like, I'm angry. And I've had to suppress that anger because my daddy would whoop my ass. But now that I'm a grown woman, I can just do what I want. And it shows. It literally shows because Macy has a temper. She has anger problems. Like when she knocked all those books off that shelf. That is part anger, part something else. She can't touch her man. And experiment 267 has shown, because I don't even think they did anything when they were able to touch. They didn't take advantage of that. So she's having issues. Love seafood. I always get it for my birthday. Yeah, I am a pescatarian, so the only meat that I actually eat is seafood, and everything else is plant-based. I don't like pork. I don't like red meat, and I used to be able to eat chicken and turkey, but because of my medical condition, I can't tolerate it anymore. So just fish. So I love shellfish especially. Love it, love it, love it. Hello, Emmanuel. The person beside me is my spouse, River Park, the person that keeps me alive. I mean, it's true. Josefina sure got a playing quick on. She had those covered powers. She got her powers. But again, why? I don't understand why you would go home to people that criticize you for going after your dream, for being born not the gender you are. Like, that's literally what I got from that. And because Josefina was still trying to get those powers, they were like, well, I mean, you can't be in the family anymore. So then why would you go back to the family? It don't make any sense to me. I don't understand how that works. I don't understand that. I don't understand that.
Especially with your powers.
It doesn't make sense. What if she gets there and they're like, you got powers? Oh no, we're going to bind them because you're not supposed to have them. What if they do that? You know, what if Josefina shows up and at the front door of the manor and is like shaking and like, they tried to take my powers away? Well, then why the hell did you go home?
Yeah, anywhere.
Both versions of Charm suffer from bad writing. They do. They're like, especially the last season of Charm. I did not like the last season of Charm. And when Billy showed up, I was pretty damn annoyed. Still taking it back from the episode of Jordan running in about monsters and that disappear on its own some episodes ago. I know, it never went anywhere. It was like, you never guess what's outside. Well, we're never going to know because we never got it. I'm like, you don't need to know. Let's see. Everybody remember to give a thumbs up. Yay! Uh-oh. Lady Shiva, and the power of 3. This is true. But I'm sorry, Ray. I just said Lady Shiva. Drinking game if you're in here. Victims of the Charm One Society, Jada, Abby, Jordan, Julian, Swan, everyone the Charm One meets. Don't forget poor Nico. Nico's entire life was effed up by that spell. And then got effed up again when the spell was broken. Yay, seafood part. See, we're all seafood lovers. Welcome to the party. Maybe if the Charm Ones do a flashback episode to Abby's childhood, they will understand her better and stop being so mean and using her whenever they need something. I know. I'm telling you. Macy, especially in that preview, I just literally, and remember, I like Madeline Montauk. I loved her, and I'm going to say the name wrong, Into the West. I might not have said it wrong. I really loved her in The Tomorrow People. I loved her in Carnegie Hall and a bunch of like the British shows I used to see her in before when she was really young. I do not like her as Macy sometimes when she's being entitled. It just drives me in crazy. They write these lines for her it doesn't seem like it should come out of Macy's mouth.
Well, I'm sure like she didn't like saying them as an actress.
She was probably looking like, I wouldn't say this. And like, I was, and then the showrunners are like, no, we're doing something new. We're making her edgier. What? Like, no, you're not. You're not. I'm in love with oysters and lobster as well. You should, because they are absolutely amazing. I don't understand why Josefina would go back to Puerto Rico because the whole reason the Reyes family kicked her out was because they found out she was trying to get her powers and learn magic. Exactly. It's stupid. It's stupid. You know why she went home? They're like, you got to go home, but you can't stay here. That's exactly what where was she even sleeping? Like, I really want to know because I'm pretty sure Macy took the mother's room. Mel had her room. Maggie had her room. And Harry, I thought, was sleeping in the damn attic. I don't know where the hell he's sleeping. So my problem is, where was Josefina sleeping? The flow. In which room?
Any room. She just hopped rooms.
Okay, I think that's the next episode. Same plus crab and mussels. Yes, I love them all. Crab, shrimp, and you name it. I love red snapper. Love it all. Hell, from what it sounds like, the family would bind her powers on sight the second she's back and home on their doorstep. That's what I think is going to happen. It doesn't make sense to me. Why go home? It's weird. Couch maybe. Which couch? There's a couch upstairs in the attic. That's why I thought she was always there. I don't know. She could have gotten her college education at the damn school Mel works at. I know she could have done Zoom classes, online education. She didn't have to go to Puerto Rico. Who's going to pay for college? They kicked you out of the house. How are you going to get financial aid? Maria rants gold, and you have Lightning Collection fans first Friday and announced some today. I rant golden. I have golden rants.
Mm-hmm.
Is that like on Golden Pond?
Sure.
Cool. Just wanted to know. Josefina expressed a deep sense of connection to her border. Don't make me say these words, David. I'm like, B heritage. In the previous episode, she was trying to get a translation book of the Taino languages, which are indigenous to Puerto Rico. I respect the hell out of Puerto Rico. I respect the hell out of everything they went through, especially with natural disasters and who was in charge at the time, President expired orange. But I can't say these words. I'm like, I don't want to butcher your beautiful language with my mispronunciations. She may have wanted to return to Puerto Rico to help preserve the island's mystical heritage. Now, I would see that if she had said, I'm going to go home, ignore my family, and then start my own stuff. Maybe I'll open a magic store since, it didn't work for you guys here, and then go do my other thing. Like, at no point did it say, should she have said ever, I'm going to go home and reconnect with my family. Now that I did what they told me not to do and couldn't do, I'm going to go home and rub it in their face and see if they bind my ass. That's literally what I got out of that. When I see words I can't say, I just say word I can't say or something and feel your pain. I mean, I do it all the time. I'm learning Korean from this one. I took Japanese for 8 years. I took it in senior high school and then all through college. So I've taken a lot of Japanese. The problem with taking Japanese and learning Korean is a lot of the words, especially when Japan invaded Korea, are kind of merged. So something you'll see in Hangul may have like a similar character to Japanese, like in hiragana or katakana, but they won't mean the same thing or even are pronounced the same way. The number system is almost exactly the same in some characters, pronunciation wise, except for like 5 in Japanese is go, but in Korea it's o. And it's like, so I'll literally be talking and I'm so used to saying desu on the end of stuff, like no, I'm on desu. Well, in Korea they don't say desu. So when I would say like simple words like I make a lot of Korean food, so I'll say something like bibimbap. When I used to say bibimbap, I would say bibimbap, and River's like, no. I'm like, it's not how that goes. So yeah, you learn a little bit. You're learning a little bit more about me today. Expired orange. I mean, he wasn't in season. Mm-hmm. I'm so late, but I love your spouse. I love my spouse too. So cute, so cute. Me and my uncle had shrimp eating contest, but until senior year, after eating bad shrimp from a restaurant, I can't eat more than a few. Oh, because now it's given an allergy to it. But salmon and crab are truly a blessing. Oh yes, we made a salmon bowl, and then I think today you made a shrimp poke bowl. Mm-hmm. So we make our own poke bowls because they're expensive
and they're bad at Kroger.
Yeah, and the ones at Kroger are just disgusting. I don't know what happened. They used to be good, but they got really bad. So, Mystical Heritage, did Mystic Force ever say who Claire's dad? I didn't know Claire had a dad. And it's like Sailor Moon. Who's Sailor Moon's dad? Nobody knows. Mm-hmm. Nobody knows who Sailor Moon's dad is. They impregnate themselves. They don't need men. When you have a powerful, crystal inside of you, Jinzusho or silver crystal, you don't need a man.
She's her own dad.
Own daddy. Now, Sailor Moon needed a daddy for Chibiusa. I guess she's like the litter, I guess. I don't know. But the other Serenity didn't need it. So whatever. Whatever. Let's see here. I have been craving mochi. Oh, I miss mochi. I can't have it though. I am also extremely celiac, so I can't have gluten. And they have gluten-free mochi, but to make it gluten-free, they use rice flour, but they put like 25 million pounds of sugar into it. And I can't have all that sugar. So, because it's my medical condition. So it's always messed up for me. I always look at stuff and I'm like, oh, I can have that for this part of my medical problem. but I'm anemic, so I know I can't have this. Like, I love almond milk and I love oat milk. I don't drink regular milk. And I just realized because of the substitute milks, it's contributing to my anemia going south. And I also am the only half British person who had a British mother who raised her drinking tea during tea time, who could no longer drink Earl Grey or any other forms of black tea
or green
tea, which I also love because it has a negative effect on iron. Envy my life. Just envy it. I didn't forget. I just hope they got therapy and now avoid the hell out of them. Wow. Don't forget Parker. Parker. Yeah. I mean, technically Parker did get effed over, especially in season 2. Remember though, did season 2 happen? I don't think I don't even think season 2 happened. Because I mean, everything else in season 2 didn't seem to matter. So why should this? I mean, I'm just saying. I can picture Josefina opening a Botanica Santeria magic shop in Puerto Rico and being a community healer. I would love that. I would love them to show that though. I don't want her to just do it and we just wish that happened. If Mel doesn't stop treating Abby this way, we can send her to Tartarus or the Tomb of Chaos almost getting Abby killed because she was too busy texting Ruby to protect her. Oh yeah. Yeah. You know what would be cool? If like Abby's like, I'm going to tell you Charm One something. I'm going to wish I never existed, meaning everything I ever helped you with is undone. Enjoy. You know, like, I hope in the next episode, though, I really think it would be cool if they start getting, like, when they're trying to find reasons to bring her back, or like, as Macy said, she deserves to be in the Tomb of Chaos. It would be cool if they start showing videos of everything she's ever done for them. And then they play a video for everything that they've ever done for Abby. And they realize that there's only like 1 second of video on their end. And then they start thinking, wow, we are some entitled bitches. I mean, just saying. Hey, Maria, nice to meet you, River. Hope I spelled it right. Every character needs work except for Jordan, Swan, and Nico. So see, yeah, she spelled River right. It is the traditional way of R-I-V-E-R. Unless you're writing it in Japanese or in Korean, then it's Riba, R-I-B-A. Riba. Riba. Do you think we'll eventually see Waverly? What will make my life for this show is if they bring the actress Dominique, who plays Waverly in Winona Earp, in as Waverly, and that would be epic for me because Waverly's actress in Winona Earp is also really English in real life. So if she would slide right on in, I'd be like, but it would be funny as hell that she played Waverly in Charmed and in Winona Earp. I think Macy and Abby could have been best friends, but they changed everything. Yeah, I think they made Macy like bitter as hell. She's so bitter. I don't know. Maybe she's just too horny. I don't know what's going on with that. She's just bitter. It's time now. You already knew it was happening. See, guys, what other live streamers do this? Our YouTubers do this. My little organic, beautiful, strawberry flavored, all natural lipstick sucks in terms of longevity. So it like literally goes away while I'm talking.
You get a little mini makeup.
Get like that whole 15 minutes, like maybe 45, and then it's just gone. So like, is it good?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Hopefully they did. Dee Dee of Harry wiped their memories. I couldn't forget Parker. I hope he comes back so Abby has someone there for her or on her side. I mean, they made it so they don't really like each other. So I mean, that's probably not going to happen either. Like Jane from Descendants, I just thought Fairy Godmother just gave most of her magic to create a descendant, offspring, or child via magic flower fairy transfiguration. Is that how we're explaining Sailor Moon? I saw Abby's Twitter that she was leaving the show, but I don't know what it was that she was exiting. What?
Hell, I would leave.
Poppy is leaving Charmed? I wonder why. Is it because my character is literally assassinated and treated like shit? Is Jordan leaving too? Josefina was just there to get her power, and after she got it, she was gone. Dip out. I mean, I just don't like where she dipped out too. That's the problem. All right, hey, look at all the things that Abby has done for you. Now look at how you've been treating her. Exactly. And they're literally going to see the amount of a-holiness they have been to Abby this entire time. I am so upset that she's leaving. I did not know that. And she said that on her official Twitter account. See, I don't look at Twitter because Twitter has a lot of people there that scare me and also make me want to cuss them out. So it's like they scare me in terms of how they think, not because I care what they say to me. But it's like, you guys, some of you a little touched. so man, I am not happy. I did not. Let me open another window. Pop this down here. I need to look this information up. Something is wrong, guys. Why is Abigail leaving Charmed? Because technically they probably don't know what to do with her because it is a CW writing problem.
They better not kill her off somehow.
I'll be so mad. I will be so mad. I don't see it, but it doesn't mean that that's not happening. Okay, I have to look into that. I'm gonna have to look at that because it could be a phrasing thing. You know how people are like, "Oh, I'm done," and they really mean for the season. They don't mean for the series. It could be like, "I filmed my last scene and I'm going home." It could be that. She's like, "Finally, I can get the hell out of Canada." You saw Coach Carter. Timo was a fool threatening the coach. Coach Carter. Are we talking about Power Rangers? I'm sorry. I'm trying to keep on track what you're talking about, Emmanuel. I'm sorry. I follow her and Poppy was saying goodbye to everyone. She was like, this is my last ep and I love working with y'all, blah, blah. I was like, no. What? She's another Nico, another Jada. That is so effed up. Any character that has more interaction with Mel is doomed. I mean, so Ruby's probably next. Josefina basically did get the powers, get that head, then leaves. Peace out. I mean, it is true. But again, I need to make a banner that says justice for Josefina too, just for the writers, and just post it on the Charmed official Twitter. Because the only time I've ever done any post on any CW stuff was the episode with how they treated the whole mental health thing and suicide thing. I'm like, you guys need to do better. And so I did post that on there. I got a bunch of likes on there and I was like, okay, this is get out of hand. So I jumped off Twitter. I have a Twitter. I hardly ever post on it. I need to get better at that, but I don't. People are just very, I'm not even going to say raw. Sometimes they want to cancel you for shit that doesn't make sense. So yeah. What? You farted in the line at Target? Canceled. So I don't want to deal with all that. Because my thing is always hashtag do you boo, and then go the fuck away.
And I'm always farting at Target.
I mean, you really are. It's actually very hard.
Canceled.
Though I will always find River in the store, forever separated. I just follow the trail. Mm-hmm. I don't think her character is leaving. It might just be finishing up filming for the season. I really hope. Part of me hopes she doesn't leave, but the other part of me is like, maybe you need to leave. I mean, maybe you just need to go.
Kind of intrigued what the writers would do without an Abigail to do everything for the Charmed ones.
Poor Jordan. Fucking Jordan's gonna be a new Whitelighter. Because if Harry becomes immortal, then what's gonna happen? They have to have a Whitelighter, so they're gonna Jordan and her are gonna get together, and then he's gonna die and become a Whitelighter. It's like when they were in the Tome of Chaos and saw each other fighting and realized they needed to stop. They could do the same thing with them and Abby. They could. But will they? Poppy said she was leaving. I hope you're right, though. I don't want Poppy to leave. Oh, my gosh. Hashtag justice for Charmed victims. That is awesome. I like that one. It was like Charmed, making victims since 2018. Coach Carter, a basketball movie about Miss Fairweather and Joel B. Izzy's real parents. Oh, okay. I didn't realize we knew Izzy's real parents are real mother. She's adopted, so real mother, I guess. Hell, Jordan Abbey needs to find the Charmed victim support group. They need to start the charm victim support group and then reach out to Nico and everybody else. Were you touched inappropriately by the plot of Charmed? Hashtag justice for charm victims. I really like that. Did they say that the woman in Josefina's immediate family had powers? They did say the women had powers. They did. I heard it. I also heard that the Book of Shadows was their book. And Marisol stole that book. But you know what? We still have no idea why. Because they still haven't told us. But it doesn't matter, because when season 4 gets here, the events of season 3 would have never have happened. We never met Josefina. There was definitely never a Kevin. We may still have Ruby. We don't know. But none of these other events will have ever occurred, just like in season 2. I mean, I don't make the rules. I just talk about how screwed up they are. I'm just saying. I'm saying I don't watch other charm reviews. Sometimes I watch Eloy's because me and Eloy normally agree on most stuff. Some things we don't, like in terms of if we think something is written well. Like I think the last episode he thought was written well and I did not. That is our ice machine, by the way. It's new. We can't control that. It has a mind of its own and it might be haunted. But
or low on water.
Or low on water, which is probably the more realistic thing. But I feel like there's so many things they could do to save what they've done, and they're not doing it. Instead, the writers on this show are expanding the plot holes that they've created. Hence why we have Harry not mentioning his whole other ass family that were also descendants and potentially has 20 to 30 different grandkids that could be his last hope. Not this one boy that was his son, his biological son with his first wife's, basically the love child with some woman we don't know, a family friend, whoever he was cheating on his wife with. Because, and you know what? Carter probably didn't even want to cheat on his wife. But then he understood that his genes told him he had to. Like, daddy cheated. His daddy probably cheated. Oh, I got to cheat too. He's like, I'm sorry, honey. I love you. You are my soulmate. But according to these genetic clause, paragraph 5, I got to go screw this woman and knock her up. So I'll be back. But don't worry. It won't affect our lives because we'll tell everybody that this is our nephew. But see, at least he did that. Harry literally did not visit this other family. Even in season F1, he went back and saw Carter. And the first wife, basically revisited that situation. And we never saw the second family. Never saw him. That's a problem. I'm just saying. I need a petition for Abby to stay and for them to bring justice to all the characters that got done dirty. I agree. I absolutely agree. Since Josefina came from a family with magic, she may have seen her gaining powers as a way of fully transitioning, which I do get the sentiment behind that. Plus, who doesn't want to be Poison Ivy? Because that's essentially what she became. She is Poison Ivy. If they do a DCEU movie now, they'd be like, hey, Josefina, come here. Like, you are now Poison Ivy. Her eyes glow. She's got vines everywhere. She's Poison Ivy. Look, I will be down for that. If they keep Ruby and kick Abby, I will be so upset. Oh, I will be so pissed. Because I want to see a live action, because I can see her pull up on Jordan after seeing his vast experience dealing with the traumas Abby goes psychological issues. I don't know how. First of all, Jordan has PTSD from the war. Just because we saw him deal with it a little bit does not mean he overcame PTSD. We cannot. It's irresponsible on the writing standpoint to show somebody who deals with, any type of PTSD, not to mention military war-based PTSD, as something that can be cured by fighting yourself on a supernatural level. That's not how that works. So I'm not going to brush over the fact that Jordan still has PTSD. I am going to say, though, that we're probably never going to see anything else about it, because as far as this writing team goes and this writing for this show, he beat it when he beat his great-great-great-grandfather. He overcame his PTSD. He overcame his guilt. He overcame everything in that moment. That is not how it works. You meant to go to therapy, and you have to go to therapy for years. And poor Jordan's too busy being Charm1's therapist and Harry's damn therapist and Abby's damn therapist. Jordan can't deal with his own shit because he's already dealing with everybody else's. He is in the tomb of chaos, not because he did something wrong, because he was happened to be with Abby. So yeah, this is why when I look at script writing, because that's one of the things I pretty much focused on when I was in film school. I love writing, screenplay writing. I love plots. I love looking at plots. I love tearing plots apart. I will write something and somebody else could tear it apart and it will be justified because, nobody's perfect. It is what it is. But when I look at a script, I have to look at it from every angle. And then I try and look at Charmed through a realistic scope because they have more damn plot holes than Doctor Who. So, and Doctor Who has plot holes.
And like you're saying, if you're going to bring up sensitive, like real things that people deal with, like PTSD or, self-esteem where it gets to the point, and depression where it gets to the point of self-harm, or, transgender, identity struggles. Like, if you're going to bring that up, give it justice, like give it a real treatment. Don't do this whole like fantasy thing and then you just use it, abuse it, and then leave it and like forget about it. It's just like, that's really irresponsible.
It's effed up.
It's not doing anything for the causes that they're trying to, or the, issues, if we're going to call it that they're trying to support. It's just using it for a plot tool. And that's not cool. It's just not cool.
It's just like dealing with racism. We all know there's systemic racism. I am a half Black woman who is ambiguous as hell and has this shade. I call it beautiful jaundice. That is my color because I am so yellow. If you saw me in real life, you will think I have jaundice because my skin has so much yellow under and overtones. It's just what it is. I don't like when people say mighty yellow. That is a derogative term towards mixed people, but I've been called it because I am really effing yellow. But when you put, and I've said this a million times since they've done this, when you have Macy as the character that you are having go through all of this BLM, trials and tribulations, and she is like literally 2 shades darker, or maybe 3 shades darker than me. She is not dark enough to be the person that they're not going to say is ambiguous because she looks like she's ambiguous. Hair texture aside, she could be considered Puerto Rican. There was really not a lot of color difference between her and Josefina. I'm just throwing it out there. And in season 1 of Charmed, we never saw her have a race problem. And she was dating a Black man in a small ass town. Hilltown is small. You would think in a small town like that, they would have systemic racism all the damn time. And it's a college town. But then you get to Seattle, which actually is a lot more diverse. And it's like, you Black, we don't like you. I understand you needed to do that, but I feel like you could have done that in a different way with darker skinned characters who actually get more affected by this. Not saying you don't have racism when you're light skinned. I am not saying that. Don't walk out of the stream saying that shit because I will deny it. And I will say, you heard what I said disclaimer wise. I am never going to say you do not, any brown shade that you are, or any exoticness that you have that makes you not look white, you are going to experience some form of racism. I get it all the damn time. I get racism because people think I'm Filipino or Hispanic and they use derogatory terms. And I mean, it's horrible. I literally get the wrong racism, but it is still racism and it's still wrong. But the whole thing with Macy being the catalyst of all of that BLM hate, I just feel like it makes it kind of downplay the effectiveness of people who walk on that street and who are basically targeted because of the color of their skin. I've never had that experience as a biracial woman. I haven't. I've never been in a car and somebody called me the N-word. I've never been followed around a store. I haven't. And I am half Black. I have the same mix that she has. Father's Black. My mother was white. I've never had that experience. That is a form of entitlement. And when you are biracial, that is something that you are very aware of, even though it sucks, because as a biracial woman, you want to say, I claim my Blackness. I have a right to say I'm Black. But at the end of the day, there's still a very stark difference between how you were treated out there, depending on how you look. Because I know that there are a lot of mixed people out there that are dark as hell. They just are. And they don't get to say they're mixed because for some reason it's a double damn standard. I've never understood that either. But we have an entitlement. I know I have an entitlement. If I didn't tell you I was half Black, you wouldn't even effing know it. You wouldn't know it. So that is always rubbed me a little bit wrong with this particular cast, because if you really look at optically, what is the difference between Macy and Maggie, and why isn't Maggie going through BLM? Because she's half black too, and she is not that much darker than Madeline Montauk is in real life. So I'm just curious why she was the one character that was singled out besides Jordan, who's also very light skinned. And then there are no other people of color that are darker skinned that are even in this damn show. I'm just saying, we're supposed to be a progressive show. I just have to say that. So, I try to keep it real. I'm sure some people are gonna be like, oh my God, you're just bitching about everything. I mean, first of all, I don't care. Second of all, you mean you're gonna believe what you believe. But I've always had questions about that. Like even with Eloy, if you look at Eloy from the Turnout, love him to death. Hopefully you'll see him on my Jupiter's Legacy video soon. I'm trying to work our timing out. But if he did not tell you that he was half black, you would not know it either. You would look at him and think he was full Hispanic. I didn't even effing know until he told me. So us biracials can't spot each other out. We don't have that we don't have biracial dar. So I mean, so you're welcome to be like, hi, my brother. Like you just can't do it. So it's something that's always bothered me. And it just rubs a lot of things. It rubs a lot of things wrong for me in terms of that. So I think Ruby would have been a better character to have BLM. Like if her and Mel had been out on the date, and then how they treated her while she was out with Mel would have been a better use of that plot point, because she's darker skinned character, and that would have made it would have related a lot with more people. When you do it with a biracial character, we're already trying to claim our blackness. Don't be putting us in that, because now all you're doing is saying, oh, you had to have a light skinned girl go through the racism. That's literally what is happening. Oh, guys. In my feelings. You saw how I just got on that soap dish? I got on that soap dish. The soap dish, box, crate. I went there, Abby. Crate. All right, let's see. Moving up. I think I did. Because I knew Coop still struggled with being stillborn and finding his distant relative on his mom's side, along with trauma during the battle with old ones. Man, Nicholas, you're writing some plots here. Maybe you need to start writing some stuff down and sending it to the CW. Let them plagiarize you. We saw what Abby's demon side was doing to her because before she was taken into the Tomb of Chaos. I really don't want to see what it tries to do if or when she gets out. Yeah. Follow around the store is so damn annoying. Yeah. I mean, I've been with friends and it never happened to me and it happened to them. And it's effed up. And then what your response is to be like, you guys are fucking racist. And then you walk out of the damn store. I'm not buying any. I don't support this. This is bullshit. And then you leave. That's literally the response. But nobody should have to do that. I mean, money is money. Abby, she gave Macy her demon power back. When they took it away, it was a bad call. Terrible. I agree. Entitlement or privilege? At some points, they're really the same thing. Being real. I am being real. When I first moved to an area of our town, if you know Tennessee very well, especially the Memphis area, I moved to Bartlett, Tennessee. I was going 5 miles above. My bad. I was speeding. I was trying to get to a job interview and I was pulled over by an officer. He came over to me and he said, hey. I said, hi. And he said, are you, you went over the speed limit. Are you okay? And then I said, well, I'm trying to get to my appointment. Do you know a better way? I literally asked the officer if he knew a better way to get to my appointment. And he told me how to get there. I shit you not. I had a male friend who worked at the place I got a job at, who ironically lived about 15 minutes from the house I was staying at. And he's black. And he was driving down the street in his car. It was a nice SUV. And got pulled over and asked for his license and registration and proof that he had ownership over the vehicle on the same effing street that I was pulled over on. That is what I'm talking about. Perception is a bitch. And that's why I'm saying it doesn't matter how black Macy is. It doesn't. She doesn't look completely black. She looks more ambiguous. And so because of that, she was the wrong person to deliver that BLM message. And I know I hate saying that because, again, if you followed me from the inception of this channel, I have always claimed my Blackness. I am saying this as a biracial woman. If I was in that role, if I walked into any role, like, let's just be real. If I went into a show where every character was dark skinned and then I was playing their daughter, what would people think?
Or like, if, like, you know, you like Wakanda and, you know, you were allowed to be a part of the Wakanda people, knowing that
they were never colonized.
They were never going, yeah.
And they'd be like, how the hell did you get here? I'm like, first of all, Wakanda's not opening the door for me, okay? I got a tourist pass. I'm like, that's not happening. I'm like, they'll let Bucky in, but I'm not going. Kurama Shuichi Mino was more skilled and clever when it came to certain indigenous and dangerous flora. Huh. I still think Poison Ivy. Ruby, a rarely used reoccurring character, has dark skin and was not used in a BLM. You know, let's make a point about how shitty dark skinned characters are treated, because then we'd have to use a dark skinned character. Can't do that. That's not what we're doing here.
It's money on the paycheck for the charm ones.
Yep. Oh my God, I love Kurama Shuichi so much. Very true, though. It will be interesting to see if Josefina develops new ways to use her powers. She just gained her powers after all. I want to see Josefina come back. The only dark skin of relevance we have was Gavin and his grandmother and Auntie Ross in season 1. Yep. But I don't know if season 1 happened anymore. I'm just telling you. I wonder if the actors have any say in how input in their own characters are portrayed, like Macy's actor, for example, in terms of how the BLM framing started. I do wonder about that, actually. You know, because I don't know. I really don't know. I really don't. I mean, but let's just break this down again, okay? So I'm gonna find a picture. We're gonna look at it. I feel like I'm in school now. We're gonna do this, class. It's gonna happen. So let me do this. I'm going to find a picture and we're going to look at this picture together, and then I'm going to prove my point. Okay. Because this is something that I have to say, and I say it a lot. It's just weird. I am not hating on the series for this. I'm just saying it's effing weird. So let's look at this. Okay. This is her. So I'll make it bigger, or try to. So look at her skin tone. See her skin tone? She has pretty hair. Yes, it is very ethnic. She has probably like somewhere between like a 3C mix to like a 4A, 4B curl pattern. Yes, I am a curly girl, so I got this. And when you look at her skin color and you just look at her nose, her face, you would not think automatically she is Black. Now, some people might say, okay, she's got Black in her, but you would not think, you're looking at her, that she was Black. You would probably spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the hell she was, because she's ambiguous. I could see Puerto Rican, Eastern African. I mean, I can go down the list of things she could potentially be. And then if she straightens her hair, you really don't know. Now, had they put Ruby in that role, in that position, then it would have been obvious. It's like Anissa. When you look at Anissa from Black Lightning and you see them pull her over and treat her like shit, then you're like, that's fucked up. When you look at them do that to Macy, it's still messed up, but it's like, suspending my disbelief on that is hard when you have Ruby in the cast. But yeah, you're doing it to Macy. And it's just, I mean, that's just the problem I have. Like I said, it's a writing thing. It's really stupid to me. I'm sorry. Are the actors allowed to speak up? I don't know. And hi, Yido. How are you? The CW asked also to address BLM. That's why you had the recent episode of Kung Fu addressing the topic. True. We did see that. And the characters they used had darker skin. Joe is a darker skinned character who is with Ryan, which I still think is... I'm standing, guys. I'm shipping them so hard. But yeah, it makes sense. Joe being the activist makes sense. It is just hard for me to look at Macy in the same, like, I guess, vision as a character like Joe from Kung Fu. Because again, racism happens to all minorities of all shades. But it's really hard for me to say that they treated her like that because she's Black. Her being the poster child for malaria because she's dark skinned. Even Macy's character said that she was basically Black enough to be on there. She even admitted in the show that she was not completely Black, you know? So that's my problem. That is my problem. And then this is going to get into the whole biracial conversation, but I am working on a documentary. I already have 3 people have shot videos on perspectives on being biracial. I've done one as well. My daughter's doing one for me because she's mixed, obviously. And so it's just a thing. When you are mixed and ambiguous, you do go through a lot of stuff, but it is completely different conversation than BLM. I don't feel comfortable taking that because I don't experience it. I am just supporting it because I'm half Black. I think it's racist as hell, and I'm a supporter. That's literally it. Just like my grandfather is Apache, indigenous. I didn't take a tribal number, even though I could, because I don't live on a reservation. I'm not going to take anything that, from a group of people that have hardly nothing as it is. I'm not taking your scholarships away from you because every scholarship that I take means somebody on the actual reservation can't go. People don't think about this stuff, guys. They don't think about it. So I get passionate when I talk about this stuff, guys. I can't help it. I remember watching a video put out by Eloy on the Joss Whedon accusations. The Buffy set a lot of bad behaviors that weren't reported. Oh yeah, I've heard Joss Whedon is an asshat. I also heard that the actor who plays Alaric, who was in Vampire Diaries and is in Legacies, is a transphobe, a homophobe, a xenophobe, racist as hell. So I'm trying to figure out why he wasn't canceled. Why isn't he fired off of all the CW stuff? Because I know they did that with Hartley. And, he made a lot of really ignorant ass comments a long time ago. And the showrunner, Eric, who's Black, said, you need to go. And, I'm not going to get upset about it because, he knew it was stupid, whether he was doing it to be like Jim Carrey or whether he was actually racist and stupid. Doesn't matter. You have a platform. You did it. Unfortunately, you got caught. You got canceled. Cancel culture can be very bad and also can be good. There's always 2 sides to everything. But why in the hell wasn't the actor for Alaric from Vampire Diaries and who's currently on Legacies, why is he not canceled? I don't understand that. If that's true, that makes no damn sense to me. Actors usually don't have very much control over how stories are told. That's true. Or a cousin of Jericho Drum or Brother Voodoo. Wait, you can always say that you are Monet St. Cruz cousin and be like, I'm looking for my home girl. Or like a Storm because we know how to talk to. I'm done with you. I'm done with you, Nicholas. They're not letting me into Wakanda. Like, I'm a Roro's BFF. You know who I'm talking about, T'Challa, the girl that you were banging for a little while in the comics. Let's see. That's the sense I'm getting, how some of these shows have been unraveling recently. Yeah, and like I said, representation is a good thing. I cannot stand people that scream agenda all the damn time and being, well, I've said this a lot. I can't stand people like that. There needs to be something else that you can do with your life. Just, if you don't like how something is, just don't worry about it. Don't talk about it. Move on. You don't have to be hateful about stuff. So
Stop watching.
Just stop watching. Stay asleep. You don't want to be woke? Keep your eyes closed. I don't understand. You can't see what you hate if your eyes are shut. Don't be woke. Follow your own logic. Get them thumbs up, y'all. Thank you, girl. I think the writers are just focusing on the charm ones, and some support characters are for the charm. Yeah, the support ones are only there to support the main characters. That's basically it. Storm has had a lot of issues with skin color. There was controversy when the game Marvel Future Fight. I remember a Black actress complained about the game's art portraying her with a lighter skin tone, but this has been happening for years. Storm is never as dark as she should be. Yeah, I know a lot of people are upset, not only because of the young actress for America Chavez, but because she was also very light skinned and America Chavez is not. She's very dark skinned. I'm waiting for them to do that to Korra because, they're bringing back, they have Avatar Studios and they're talking about bringing back the Legend of Korra, which I am a Korra fan. Getting your feelings. So if they bring her back and make her light skin instead of dark skin, it will be an issue. Because I noticed in the graphic novel or comics, the Dark Horse comics, her skin's all over the place. And some scenes is really dark, and some scenes is really light. I'm like, she's not a transformer. I don't understand what's happening right now. So it's not even a season change. I don't understand why her skin's doing this.
It's lighting.
It's like lighting my ass. She was freaking in a room in the Beifongs, and like there was no light hardly at all, and her skin was just pale. And I'm like,
there's a window.
I think when they were doing the coloring, they ran out, and they were like, well, we don't have enough of this, and we got a deadline, so just was that pink? Give me that. I'm like, it's not even racism, it's laziness. Stores closed. I'm gonna go on the Dollar Tree. From now on, anyone that Mel even says hi to, I'm just gonna pretend it isn't even there because it's only a matter of time before they leave. We saw it with Nico, Jay, Kat, Kevin, and Abby. Poor Kat. Kat not only lost her role, she lost her magic store. Like, hey, River, I'm gonna go and be a medium now because the ghosts keep coming. Can you watch my store for me while I'm gone?
Okay.
Hey, it's been like 2 years. Where's my store? Oh, okay, cool. That's literally what's happening.
Oh yeah, that thing.
That's literally it. That's it.
Isn't it repurposed now?
I mean, I have no idea. I have not seen the juice bar was downstairs.
That's true.
I don't know where the freaking boxing place that like the gym, the Jordan manages is still there. But I mean, that's it. Huh. I still have no idea. I mean, I guess Mel has a part-time job, but I mean, is Macy working? I mean, yes, she owns Safe Space technically, but does she get a salary really? Did they leave her money? I don't know. So, and Maggie's not working at all. I still want to know how she's going to school. Who's paying for her tuition?
Scholarship.
How? She was dead. I'm like, she probably missed the deadline for that. Like, it's a bit troubling since the Marvel Future Fight game is developed by a Korean game company. Well, you are part Korean, full Korean, but 1% black, according to 23andMe. River got so happy. You have to understand the dynamics of Korean culture. I'm sure you understand what I'm saying, My spouse here, see the color, was told by almost every member of his family, that he needs to bleach his skin. And that was when you were in Korea, right? Yeah.
And stop going outside.
And stop going out in the sun. Just answered your question. I'm like, there's a reason Korea's number one face ointment has a BB cream has literally almost 90% lightening in it, bleach, acid, because for some reason everybody in Korea has to be white, and genetically no one in Korea is white. Like, no one is white in Korea. It is all bleach. The reason why Alaric Saltzman's actor Matt Davis homophobic, transphobic, xenophobic, the reason as to why he's still there is because of Julie Plec and Carol Andrews. They still want him there. Why? Yeah. Yes, he is 1% black. 1%. At first, I thought I just rubbed off on you, because we took our 23andMe together, and I'm like, give you some of this. Like, I didn't get a lot of it in my skin, but it's there. My blackness is here. Rub it. But because when we did our results, I didn't want River to be sad when you came back as 100% Korean. I'm like, because both of your parents are from Korea, born and raised in Korea.
I mean, you spend like what, $90, $50, whatever on a sale.
Yeah.
And you get, oh, yay, 100%.
Yeah, it was like you do your 23andMe and it's like, guess what? You Korean. I'm like, oh, really? Never would have guessed that. But then you came back as like Japanese, which of course makes sense considering, 3%. Unfortunately, 3% because Japan took over, did really bad things in Korea. But then we got that one.
And also geographically, like Korea used to not be just the little bunny that it is now. It used to be like really big with like lots of kingdoms and stuff, and they all fought each other to gain, power and stuff. And so like at one point, I think it did reach over into what's now Japan.
Which makes sense because Russia, there's a big section of Russia that is Asian. And
too.
And what's really funny is, so my Jamaican is actually Chinese. The one portion of Jamaica that's Chinese, that's the amount of Chinese I have in me. And then the other North Asian, I have North Asian in me that's from Russia. Like, not Russian. So it's Eastern and European, but it's actually Asian. So I'm like, and then I have like a crap ton of Bengali, which my family got around. I don't know what to say about that. My 23andMe is very long. The list is very long. But and I have so many African continents on my dad's side, and my mother, I have so much Scottish and all this stuff on my other side. It's crazy. Genetics are crazy.
Not as crazy as what Harry was trying to say happens with genes.
No, Harry's trying to explain why in Charmed his genes spread very quickly. He won't be like, oh well, genetics. No, it's because I sleep around. I'm like, that's how the genes really get around in my family.
I put them
oh Lord, it's horrible. It is horrible. Horrible. Oh yeah, my Korean family is quite reductive when it comes to accepting others. I hate to say this. I mean, I don't like. Plug your ears. River's parents are that way too. River's parents, well, they're more homophobic than they are. I don't know if they're racist. I never got that far. Once I got the homophobia, I was out. So I don't know. But I do know in Korean culture, it's not just. There's so much worry about what other people in your community think that you can't have an independent thought, and it drives me insane. I can't live like that. I can't be like, every action that I do for my own life affects this entire community of people because they have decided that it does. Even though what I do should have no impact on your life whatsoever. We were born with free will, so I should have the free will to make my own mistakes and do my own stuff. I don't want to be told that I am disgracing anything and that I'm bringing shame on this whole community of people that I don't even effing know. So, yeah, it's a thing, guys. That revelation would send my family in conniptions. I'm sorry, Have you moved out? Have you moved away? Because I don't like telling people to stand up to to their families and stuff until I realize you're in a safe environment where they can't do anything to you. God, if Abby's actress is leaving, she is a waste of space in this reboot. The writers need to focus on doing one single good episode out of 3 seasons, nothing good. If Abby's actress, and you know what? I can't even argue with that. What was the point of having Abby at all in season 2 if you treat her like shit in season 3 and then you just have her leave? And I bet you it's going to be something corny like, I've got to go and find myself because I realize being here means that I'm just like not being my true self, and I don't want to be unredeemable the way you said that I was unredeemable. So I think I'm just going to go on a mission, a soul questing mission to find myself, not the demon me, not the witch me, but Abigail.
Find my tribe.
Find my tribe. And I'll look for Parker on the way. That's literally what I'm hearing. And what I really think she should have been saying is, so I really believe you guys have fucked me over. I don't like you. Breaking it Cockney. F you all. And screw the charm ones. And I hope you die. Can we please give Swan safe space and Josephina the shop that Katarina under left Mel, who doesn't even go to the store anymore? A nature which surrounded by vast flora, mystical potion ingredient. I mean, it was so imperative for them to have access to this store because they were poor as hell and needed ingredients for their potions. But now it's like, well, the command center gives us everything we need, so we don't need that store because it just grows in the cabinets. I don't get it. I don't get it.
They made it disappear with one of the potions.
Yeah, I know, right? She was treated so bad. I mean, I just don't understand. I don't understand why Abby is a concept. I love her character. There's so much they could do with Abigail. And they just seem to do the same repetitive bullshit. And that is make her do something for the charm ones and then treat her like shit. That's literally, and then make her feel like she's wrong. She's in the wrong all the time. Or perhaps they can give Josefina her own spinoff where she runs a shop in Puerto Rico and Abby gets her business partner. That would be awesome. Although she's going to find her sister and become the new Billy and Christy Ultimate Power season finale. I would love for them to bring Waverly, her sister Waverly. I gotta get used to saying Waverly without saying Waverly Earp. But have her and Waverly have like this whole thing where they work out their shiz. I have no faith in what they're gonna do with Abby. I just don't. I have no faith whatsoever. I just have none.
There is no hope.
I have none. Why don't they keep their front door locked? I know, right? But what? First of all, there are levels, Magic Me. Levels to this question. Number one, when did they have time to go to DMV and get a driver's license change to show where their magical house now is on property that they don't pay for? I'm like, well, whatever, it's illegal as hell. Number two, why did Antonio feel comfortable enough to walk into a house that he perceives are just three women living together in Seattle? That is a safety issue. The cops can be called. You are also a minority in a neighborhood, which I don't even know if it's a neighborhood. I mean, are they still in this empty like lot in the middle of damn nowhere? Does anyone question why this house is in the middle of damn nowhere? That I think when they did an outside shot now had trees and stuff like they were still in Hilltown. I'm pretty sure I never mentioned that, but I need to go back and look at that because there was an outside shot of the house in the previous episode that looked like Hilltown, where it was in Hilltown. Yeah.
Well, and also your dude who's crushing over this girl who lives in this house. I don't know about you, but I would not like bust through somebody's door that, you know, where the girl that I have a crush on lives in and could potentially, you know, be like, what the fuck are you doing here? Like, because she's not, you know, like been absolutely clear that, yes, I'm into you too, and we're a thing, and you're welcome to come over whenever you want, and doors always open for you. That's not their relationship. So it's like, there's no way in hell, like, you just walk through someone's door and be like, here, here's your wallet. Like, and to be smooth, dude. Like, so smooth.
And to be clear, when we first started dating, like eons ago, River knew that he had an open invite to come over to my house whenever. River still knocked on the damn door, rang the doorbell, and not only that, stood 5 feet from the door, not even on the literally 5 feet from the door, and waited for me to open the door. When we were married and we were house sitting for my dad, and you went out to work and came back, you knocked on the effing door and you had a damn key to get in the house. Like, this is writing, guys. The people that write this episode, I need to see what race they are, what nationality they are. Because if the entire writing group or writer's room for Charmed is white, it makes perfect sense. That's something I guess they do there. They feel like they can just walk in each other's houses because they're entitled to do so. Minorities don't walk in people's houses like that. Especially as, I mean, I'm not going to Seattle to a house that's supposed to be on a vacant lot in the middle of nowhere, probably in a shady freaking area, and just walk in somebody's house. Now,
with multiple people living there that you have not really spent a whole lot of time with.
Yeah, you don't even know if Maggie's there.
Nope.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get the water truth now. So hopefully Ray's not in here.
I gotta slow down because I'm feeling it.
The magic of truth trying to flow, babe.
Out the other way.
Out the other way. Well, I saw a video from Macy Thatcher and she said Abby's in it for the long haul. So, okay. And I hope that's true. I really, really hope that's true. I just can't see this show working without Abigail anymore.
I mean, they can't.
And that sounds weird. It sounds weird since the show's about the three sisters. But I mean, I feel like the supporting characters make the show better for me. And if they keep dropping like flies, there's no point. I am not, again, I think Hasty is cute. But I am not so obsessed with Hasty that I feel like they should take over the whole damn plot. I just don't. They are not interesting enough for me to say this is what the show is about. I was like that with OG Charmed. Yeah, Piper and Leo had adorable moments, but I wasn't like, well, if they don't show me Piper and Leo this week, fuck this show. I didn't give $5. I'm sorry. No, that is not why we like Charmed. We like the demons of the week. We like the struggle, blah, 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 until we got to Billy and her damn sister Christy, and then I was just done with that crap. But Yeah, I just, I can't do it. I still live quite close to my family. The irony is that as bad as anti-Asian violence is, the recent increase in that violence is starting to change their perspective on intolerance, especially BLM. I'm glad, we have conversations about this a lot in this house because, again, Asian spouse, my daughter's half Asian. We always knew about BLM because we live in the South. And my spouse works for an organization called Facing History in Ourselves. And that's literally what they do. They educate you on identity and racism and, intolerance and acceptance and blah, blah, blah. They do it all through different schools with teachers. It's a very good organization. If you have time to look up Facing History in Ourselves, I'm literally plugging your job right now. Facing History in Ourselves, nonprofit, check it out. But so we know this aspect. We know systemic racism, but we always see it through the Black angle. And the Black, scope, which is I'm not downplaying that. It is needed. But because of that, what's happening in the Asian community is kind of basically being shoveled underneath the board. We are seeing it more now because there are so many more attacks. You can't go a day without hearing somebody being attacked, especially elderly people, which is BS. But even Station 19, there was a great episode they did 2 weeks ago where one of the characters is half Korean and his name right out of my head again. And he said that he didn't want to talk about the fact that his mother was spat on for, they thought she was Chinese and she's Korean for bringing Kung Flu over here because he didn't want to take away from the fact that they were grieving about George Floyd. And I thought that was the most real effing conversation, especially when the counselor who is Black said, it's all terrible. You shouldn't downplay another person's racism because you are not the main topic of discussion. And I thought that was really powerful. So just I throw that out there. It's all bad, guys. It is all bad. I mean, I know it's bad to say all lives matter because the people that normally say that are the ones that are entitled and they throw that around. I get that, but I want to live in a world where all lives matter. And so I don't know how to downplay that, but it's a thing. It is a thing. Let's see. Abby stealing fire powers from a charm done would have been the start of a good thing, but it just turned into nothing. I mean, she didn't steal it. Technically, Macy said, I don't want to be a demon anymore. Stab me with the stagger. Abby said, okay. And then the power, she took it because, it was free game. It wasn't like Macy wanted them. She wasn't keeping them. So she's like, okay, I'm going to take this as my payment because you guys don't pay me for anything that I ever do for you. So I'm going to take this. And she didn't do anything bad with them. The thing is, even as the overlord of the demon world right now, she's not attacking the charm ones. She keeps the demons from attacking witches. She's not doing bad things. That is why it's irritating and frustrating when they treat her like a villain. It's like she's literally stopping her guys from effing with the charm ones. Oh, they're just so damn entitled. Abigail's sister is named Waverly, like Waverly Place from Disney's Wizard of Waverly Place, or like Waverly Earp from Winona Earp. It seems like every TV show, they leave their doors unlocked. That's true. Maybe they don't have locks. Maybe that's what we're missing here. It's expensive to have locks. Or they only have one lock and they have to, check it out, like with the library card per TV show. So if we lock the Pierce's house in Black Lightning, we can't go over here and do, the Vera house because we only got that one lock.
Cost though to rekey a door and get all that set up, that's a cost issue, I'm sure.
It is a cost issue. Oh my God, the writing. Sorry, nothing to be sorry about. Like this reboot feels like H2O. Just add water level of writing. That mermaid show was called H2O, wasn't it? The one that was in Australia. Okay, you must not have been that good because you know what I'm talking about. Victims of the charm ones. The list keeps getting longer. Nico, Jada, Lucy, Galvin, Tessa, Parker, Chloe, Abby, Julian, Jordan, Ray, and also Jimmy because they could have left him with working at the flower shop. Sorry if I forgot any other characters. Oh, the really cool the Indian elder lady who gave Macy the needle. I can't remember her name. She was also a victim. She's a victim. You have to remember that these writers can't write anything that cohesively flowed. This is true. And Kat. Yep, we can't forget Kat. I have zero connections with the characters. Hasty is grossing me out, not because of the age, just Harry's actor is creepy. I mean, okay, so I can see it from both perspectives. Together, they do have chemistry to me. But I can get on board with him being a little creepy, knowing that he has a whole ass other family that he's just not even talking about, and that he spawned another cheater like him. So I can be on board with that. I can.
Shady.
And I love the fact that his son looks exactly like him too, in a way, when he was younger. No, this generally feels like the CW format of writing is Mako Mermaid style. It doesn't make sense. It's just a center of entitlement with no real payoff and substantial story lore. Yeah, I don't get it. Facing History sounds like something I can get behind. I think you would like it. And I love that they've been around for like 20 something years. They're international too. They have it overseas, like they have in the UK. I think it's 40 something years, but they're just now being more, advertised and more relevant because everything now is out in the open. I think with President Took a Dump, literally when he was in office, there was more reason to have more conversations, hence why Facing History is more in the light now. There are tons of nonprofits out there you have probably no idea about. So yeah, I work for one of them. It's called the National Kidney Foundation. And unless you have kidney disease or need a transplant, you probably never heard of us. Charm Victim Support Group: Jordan, Nico, Jada, Ray, Parker, Tessa, Abby, Jimmy, Lucy, and Galvin, and Julian. We're gonna revive Julian too. Meet your counselor, Nicholas Kelly. Can you you can call me Nick or Miss Kelly. Poor Julian's sister. We're never gonna know what happened with her. We don't know what the outcome of the sister is. Is she back in a coma? Is she dead? What's happening with the sister? Is anybody watching her? Is anyone paying the bill to keep her on life support? Does anyone know? I don't know. She's in the same bucket as Kevin. Kevin might as well be laying right here, like right next to her in bed. We have no idea. Have the demons not realize that their overlord is missing? I don't. I'm trying to figure out how Maggie just got in her apartment. I mean, yeah, she could have thrown a marble, but it didn't look like it. It looked like she came through the front door. So I have no idea. I have absolutely no idea. Priyanka Bari, thank you. I think Magic Me, you said it too. Bari, yes. So Bari needs to be added to that list because she was just trying to help, Macy out and got killed. I'm just glad they can't touch each other. Cedric's like, hasty as a no. Harry's actor, Rupert Evans, kind of puts off the creepy vibe. He was extra creepy with Hellboy's girlfriend in the Hellboy movie, and he was trying to be the wingman for Hellboy. He was creepy in Hellboy. He's been in a lot of stuff where he's played an American and an English character. And I can say, I know he played a serial killer in a movie that we saw, because I was like, that's Harry. I can't remember the name of it. We saw it on Amazon Prime. Yeah, he can do creepy very well. So I agree with that. He went to school to acting school to do that extra. You get that extra level of training to be creepy. I feel awkward saying that, considering how introverted I am. I feel like I'd be as awkward as he was. So River is introverted and I'm an ambivert. So all of my extrovertisms come out when I do videos or act. In real life, I cannot be in big groups. River is a witness. If we go somewhere like Target or Walmart, which I hate Walmart with a passion, I will have an anxiety attack, especially if there are a lot. For me, going to Walmart is like being in a zombie invasion. There are people coming at me from all directions with carts. I literally start shaking. How many times have I cried in Walmart because we can't get out?
Every time but one?
I think one time in the past year, and we rarely go anywhere. I will break down and bawl and feel like I'm dying. I go down different aisles to get away from people, and then more people come, and I feel like I'm being buried alive. It just drives me insane. So I do not do well in big groups. But the irony is I can get on a stage and have done in front of hundreds of people with no problem. I can make speeches in front of people. I can act. I can do all of that stuff. But the moment I get off that stage and you want to talk to me in a group, I freak the hell out. I don't know why. It's just what it is. So they say that's kind of an ambivert. So I'm a cross between an extrovert and an introvert, which I don't know if that's good or not. Wasn't that deaf Charity's fault? It was, but the point is that she was helping Macy. So whenever you help a charm one, sometimes you die anyway. That's it. So a victim. If she ever wakes up, she will have no family left to help her. True. Harry is old as dirt. Macy will see it soon. His age is going to creep up on him. I think that is what they're not thinking about, especially since Mr. Shady from the male half of the prefect, I'm doing this a perfecti, literally said, if you get rid of your mortality, there's no going back. And if they remember what happened when they tried to get rid of the allergy, they should understand that there's always a side effect or something messed up that they're not being privy to. Was Charity killed because of the charmed done? Because what they did, what the charmed ones did? Charity, why was Charity killed?
I do not remember.
I think Charity was killed because she got caught for being a bitch. Like, I think that's what happened. I know that didn't Charity, I have to go back to my season 1. It wasn't Charity working very closely with Alistair at some point. And then, yeah. So I'm pretty sure she got in the mess. She kept getting more and more into the mess because of all the crap that she did. At first I thought Fiona killed her, but no, I think it was one of the charm ones or something like that. Was it Fiona? You're right. Fiona did kill her to activate the source. Thank you, Sunrise. You're absolutely true. Because like they were having that sister moment where it seemed like Charity was like, I'm so happy to see you, blah, blah, blah. And then she ended up killing her. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. And because I don't remember that because season 2 didn't happen. So parts of season 1 I feel like the plots are being erased from my brain slowly. Let's see. I think what's going to stick in my brain is that Harry is as old as dirt. If I had written this season of Charmed, we would have seen Godric in a seer-esque position, like how the seer was for Cole, without giving those aphrodisiacs to get Phoebe knocked up, because that was creepy too. But we could have had that for Abby if we had something substantial to cling to. Yeah. Well, I always think that's why Abby was going after Harry. She wanted a family. That was her whole thing. Abby just wants somebody to give a damn about her. That's the entire thing. I'm an ambivert with an extrovert leaning given certain circumstances or emotions. I can see that. Yeah. I'm much more vocal behind a camera or in front of a camera than I am in real life. With my spouse, I can be myself, but you would be surprised. I am funny though, but I freak out when big groups are just like crowding me. It drives me nuts. Fiona killed her to spark the secret flame. I think I read that. But yeah, thank you guys. I really need these reminders because like the last elder that Sunrise is talking about, I feel like the last elder in my mind because my brain. Side effect of anemia and being over 40 is that you see the memory, but it just goes right by. It's like, is that train of knowledge? Oh, it didn't stop in this tray. Okay, cool.
To be fair though, if you don't use a plot point, you kind of lose it.
That's true. It's very easy to lose plot points. Unless we're talking about the Flash, then you can just say whatever the hell you want because it probably is relevant in some way. You can make up a plot about the Flash and Barry Allen probably did something to make that happen somewhere. So it's fine. But what if he is very fast at effing things up? But what if the amount of black amber that is running through Rosemary's system because of prolonged years worth of exposure, she might use to wake up with power? Well, see, Nicholas, that would have been a great plot point. Except we're never going to see Rosemary again. Because she was in the first part of this season, which technically was the last part of last season that was delayed through COVID. Season 2 never happened. That's what I have learned. Nothing we've learned in season 2 is relevant. I'm heavily leaning towards the introvert side. Any form of social interaction is both anxiety inducing and exhausting, even interacting with others on YouTube. Yeah, but you're good at it though. So thank you for hanging in there. You write really good comments. Like sometimes I see like paragraphs. I'm like, I need to decipher this because my brain isn't working that fast. So I do appreciate that you like, for my channel at least, you give like really good comments and ask very good questions and put in effort. Effort is always a good thing. One of my favorite things about Charmed is Barry Allen isn't in it. Are you sure? Like, my name is Barry Allen. And I am the slowest thinking man in all of the CW, especially the Arrowverse. But let's be fair. my Flashpoint did not just affect the Arrowverse. I think it affected every damn show on the CW network.
He's in the writer's room.
As I ran through the writers' rooms, multiple. I'm sorry. I'm almost 26 and I also have memory problems sometimes. I mean, life goes faster than our brains can process. That's the problem. OMJ, Abby was basically pulling a Zelina from Once Upon a Time, but not as serious because no one really gave a damn about her. Neither parent wanted her, even though she was extremely powerful. Yep. And season 1, when the elders took Harry's white lighter powers, he said he was going to die because all the years were catching up to him. So won't the same thing happen now if he gives up his powers? So Sunrise. No, because again, things that happened in season 1 also did not happen. So season 1 and season 2 have no effect on season 3. You can do whatever you want in any season of this Charmed, and it will not have a negative effect on anything that happens in the next season. The only lasting effect is that we're no longer in Hilltown. We are in Seattle. And yeah. That's sad if you really think about it. So to answer your question, if Harry doesn't even remember his whole other family, meaning he had other descendants, there's no way he's going to remember that giving up his immortality is going to age him at once. I mean, he doesn't remember this because it's not relevant because the writers told him he doesn't have to remember that. And that's all that matters. So yeah, CW, it's an armor. When it came to witchcraft and magic. What? Oh, okay, that was from your other post. Okay. I always appreciate your company here at Yido. Yes, we love Yido. Couldn't Barry Allen break through dimensional barriers? Supergirl was an alternate Earth, wasn't she? What? So I'm still trying to figure out what Barry Allen isn't helping anybody in Freeland because the metahumans basically cannot use their powers. And not only is he a speedster, yes, he may lose his powers by going in the vicinity when the machine is on, but he has right now Cisco and he has, Chester and he has Star Labs. And why can't they just figure out a way of basically getting rid of the emitter from Central City? I mean, they basically created 3 other forces. So emitter is no problem. But nobody, like I'm telling you, I've never understood why they don't help each other. Unless they do a crossover. I mean, it's literally, the world is ending, but I'm not going to call the people that can have my back because this is not crossover time. Okay, cool. Like, speaking of superheroes, have you seen Invincible? We watched the first episode. I actually went because I hadn't read the Invincible comics. So I went and actually read some of it. And I'm like, it is more effed up in the comics than it is on the show. Oh, they have lots of very bad things in the Invincible comics. I will say sexual assault on a male is actually in this comic, which I didn't think that they would ever show. I'm here for it because it does happen. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff that I don't know for sure because I haven't seen the whole series. I've only seen the first episode. But it inspired me to read some of the comic before I watched the rest of the show. And what I read is effed up. So yes, Invincible is really good. Did you guys watch Charmed Hard with a Vengeance? No, I don't think I've read or watched Charmed Hard with a Vengeance unless that was the title of the episode that I forgot because I always go by numbers. We may not have Barry, but we have a Harry, so we have a different variant of imbecile. We're gonna have to cut it short in a minute because we're over the 2-hour mark. But that was awesome. Okay, I like that one. I think, yeah, I'm mostly here to try to work on being more than just being introverted. I actually volunteer for a lot of public speaking when it comes to my job. Well, that's good. That's how it starts. Like River is very, very quiet and less passionate. And then don't be fooled. River lets me talk on my channel more. But if we have a conversation about something, River talks more than I do. Am I lying? No, I'm not.
Topic.
Well, I'm in passionate topics. Like when you get passionate about something, I mean, we're going to go. It's going to go. I'm going to get like some popcorn. I'm sit back and watch because we will be there. We're going to have that conversation. That's very true about Flash's powers. Yeah, Flash is In the same form of an entirely different show. That's great. You have the courage to do the inner work. This is what I love about this stream. We are supporting you because we need to support you because we can't support what's happening in this episode. Let's see. Oh Lord, hey Queen Maria, hey husband. I see Fridays are gonna be hard for me. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, you guys can always go back and watch the stream. You don't have to watch it live. But yeah. Let me go back because I just realized you said I loved Charmed Harbor the Vengeance, good YouTube show. I love her perspective. Her co-host, not so much. Oh, is that a YouTuber? I'm sorry. Yeah, so I don't really watch other people's charm reviews because I don't want to be skewed in my point of view. The only person that I've ever checked out was Eloy, and that's because he initially left a comment on my channel about a video that I did, and that's how we met. And that's why I just went and checked out his charm review because he made, when he made a comment on mine, I figured I'd be nice and it's like, let me watch one of yours. And I like some of the things he was saying. So I just left a comment. But just so you understand, I know no other charmed reviewers are YouTubers. I don't look for them. I don't have time to look for them because I got too much going on. I'm still trying to get my schedule back so I can get my videos posted more. So when you ask me these questions, I'm always going to tell you I don't, because I don't. You're hearing it right here. I don't know them. I don't know other Ruby ones. I've never watched another Yashahime reviewer. Anything that I review, I've never watched another review channel on. So I do that intentionally. The only channel that you will find outside of mine, our channels, are the ones you'll see in my preferred list. And that is Quarter Life Jams podcast, who does stuff for my channel. Blurred Without Fear. We've been friends for 18 years. So I knew him before he even had a channel. So that's why, and we're both in the comics. So I have him. Joe's Geek Show, who I met through a tech site, which is funny. And then we're both YouTubers. So I know him. But like outside of that, like anything you see me reviewing on, Sailor Moon, whatever, I do not know anyone else. I just don't. So just throwing it out there. Maria's old and doesn't know anybody. Like, don't know him. Hey, River, it's very nice to see you, to have Maria as a guest on your show. Just kidding. Thanks for being. Thank you. Appreciate that.
It's nice to meet you all.
It's nice. Like, so you're a guest. Bye.
I do have to go to the bathroom.
You have to go to the bathroom? That's
fine.
fine.
I drank the entire bottle.
Oh, wow.
Not because... Well, there were a lot of truth bombs dropped, but
yeah, every time we made a truth bomb, like 32 ounces of water got drunk. Case in point, every episode where a new unknown threat presents itself. Nicholas, I need you to just write the scripts for these shows. I'm telling you, and let them know at the top. Please plagiarize. Just tell them that. Appreciate the support. Dealing with public is not the ideal job for an introverted person. I get it. I hate asking people for money, and I don't ask my friends for any help, and I work in fundraising. So there you go. It's a charm review run by Allison Pregler, which she does with her friend Phelan. She was one of the people who called the Hallows out on their selfishness. Oh, well, that's cool because it's true. They are. You have good chemistry with Eloy. I enjoy seeing you guys exchange thoughts. Yeah, I'm really wanting. He just watched Jupiter's Legacy. I think he finished it either today or yesterday. So I'm hoping we can do our review of it this weekend because I am really curious to see what he thinks about it. Because I've read the comic. I don't think he has. So it should be fun. I hope the case of Charmed, etc. Watch your reviews. Oh, a cast of Charmed? They don't want to watch my reviews. They don't want to watch it. They don't want this. They don't want this. I get it. And I love your point of view. I appreciate it. Because I do my reviews when the episode comes out, like right after. I try to do that with a lot of this stuff. I do it because I don't want to be one of those people that like, I need to watch this and see what everybody's saying so I don't be off the cuff with what I say. Now, I'm like, this is what I saw. I don't care what anybody else saw. But this is what I think happened. Hopefully you agree. If you don't, all love, no hate. It's fine. If you love the stuff that I said sucked or I disliked or I nitpicked, I am never going to be that person that gets on here and says, oh my God, you fucking idiot. I'm never going to do that because I know that people see, they see things like and or validate things in their minds and in their souls and find merit in things that I don't see. It's just what it is. Just like the whole thing with Macy. I hope that nobody gets in their feelings about me calling her out because she's biracial and going through the BLM experience. I'm never going to say a biracial person can't do that. I'm just saying that she looks more ambiguous. So it's hard for me as a biracial woman to separate myself from that. I can't separate, like, I can't suspend my disbelief is basically what I'm saying. That Macy is the character going through that instead of somebody like Ruby. That is my problem. But yeah. Have you finished The Circle on Netflix? If so, I saw the first 2 episodes. I think it's messed up. I normally don't get into those reality type shows like Real World, and like I didn't get into the what was the other one that they stopped doing because one of the women killed themselves. It was Asian. It was like an Asian version of The Real World on Netflix. I forgot what it's called, but I normally don't. But for some reason, I watched the first 2 of The Circle because they were talking some mad shit. And I just it was like a train wreck. I got sucked in. But from what I saw, it's not bad. I'm not as committed as I am to some of the other shows that I've been watching. And I still got to finish Shadow and Bone. I'm sorry. I told you my time is crazy. Yeah, she's super good at Call the OG Charm on its BS. I mean, it's not hard. There's Allison and Phelan, Kristen, and Chauncey K. Robinson. Nope. I'm sorry. Shout out to Blurred. I know Blurred. Carmon. I don't know who that is. You're either saying Carmen or Carman. Do you need a car? I'm confused. Harry Greenwood would be the first to die in a horror movie, literally waking up to the killer and get murked. Harry Ho Greenwood. This is true because really Harry should be in the remake of Cabin in the Woods, The Sacrifice. Like just from what he did. All right, so we have time technically for one more question. I just randomly. Since you work in animation, what is your advice to somebody who has written a franchise-worthy story? So I don't work in animation. I do voiceovers. So I'm the wrong person to ask that question because I don't know who you would approach to like give a treatment to. Honestly, and this is my 100% advice to you. If you want to be an animation writer and you can get somebody to animate your stuff, literally start a YouTube channel and do your own shit because then you have full control over it. And then if somebody likes it, they will come to you. I would never send anything to anyone because people have a way of taking your idea and not compensating for it. So, and if you are not really big in this business and you don't know anyone or have any contacts or have a lawyer or have anything copyrighted, they can F you over. But if you do it yourself and you create your own brand, even though sometimes YouTube's algorithm absolutely sucks ass, it can protect yourself under the algorithm because it's your content. And then anybody else that tries to do anything with it, it's a copyright claim coming from you. So just throwing that out there. I would make a YouTube channel, try and find a freelance animator that you can work with and do your own shit and see where it goes. That's how many a person have made it in this world. Being your own boss and doing your own thing. So, yay. All right, guys. Woo! Okay, we are going to go watch that new Angelina. No, we're not. We're going to do the unboxing video. Then we're going to go watch the Angelina Jolie movie on HBO Max. So. We love you guys. You will have a video tomorrow. Hopefully the unboxing video. And I'm going to see if I can work out our schedule, me and Eloy's schedule. I was talking to him yesterday. So let's see if we can work it out so we can do our Jupiter's Legacy. I don't know if we're doing a stream or a video, but you see a random stream pop up on my community tab and you know what's happening. But you guys have a great rest of your night, or if it's daytime for you, great day. Be safe out there, especially since now they're saying if you're completely vaccinated, you don't have to wear masks. That's how the Umbrella Corporation started. I'm just saying, I'm just letting you know. We love you. Make sure to comment below. If you didn't like this video, which I won't take it personally. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.